Hello from the Big South Network studio. I'm Mark Bryant. This is another edition of our season preview series for Big South Basketball 2024-25. Very happy to have with me now head coach Darius Nichols of the Radford Highlanders men's team. Coach, you doing well?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing well and glad to have you here. Let's look back briefly. Last year, earlier than expected exit in the conference tournament. What does that do for motivation or messaging to the team off the top of this year, if anything?
I mean, for us, it's a whole new year, especially for players. Having a big group of newcomers who weren't there last year. But the motivation shouldn't be what happened last year, whether it's a win or loss. But for us, it's okay. How can we get better every day, and how can we put ourselves in position? A better position last year to go deeper in the conference tournament.
So, what is the evaluation so far of what you've seen? Like behind closed doors, early practices, where's the team at?
I like our competitiveness. We're extremely competitive. We have a lot of guys that, interchangeable pieces. We're a lot bigger than last year, have more size and physicality. So I really like how competitive we are. The biggest thing that we need to make a big jump on right now is just coming together as a team with, all the newcomers. So just putting them in situations where we have to play a lot and understand how each other plays is the biggest thing we've been doing this preseason.
So you talk about blending some of the old and the new here. Let's talk about the old first in terms of key returning players and what roles you see for them.
It's hard, the returners, two out of four were hurt the whole year. TJ Neesmith missed pretty much the whole year. Ibu Yamazaki missed the whole year. Josiah Harris, he didn't start playing until conference play. And then Truth Harris goes out at the end of the year with a broken jaw. So out of those four returners, the Big South hadn't seen some of those guys. And TJ Neesmith, we had big plans for him last year, and he was out with torn labrum in his shoulder, but now he's back healthy. So just excited to get those guys back and add depth this year.
Well, talk about that added depth. You said there's a lot of new pieces. So what are those new pieces? Any the significant incoming players, transfers, and whatnot?
Oh man, so many. It's hard to. I don't want to miss any, but David Early is a transfer from Tennessee Tech, averaged 14 a game. Jarvis Moss is, started his career at Stanford and then was at Davidson previously. Tony Felder was at VMI and then Stonehill. And we played against him when he was at VMI, and he gave us fits. So he said, "Let's go get this guy." Xavier Foster is a guy that was top 70 in the country coming out of high school and was on USA Basketball, and just transferred from Iowa State and SMU, and now he's with us. Chase Davis from Maryland Eastern Shore. So we have a lot of new faces, and this whole summer, this whole preseason was more so on just getting them to understand each other's games. Now it's trying to identify roles. And sometimes, that happens organically. Sometimes, as a coach, you just have to say, okay, this is what we're doing. And it's difficult because a lot of these guys haven't been in those situations. Like, Isaiah Gaines, who's a transfer from Florida Atlantic, was on the Final Four team. So he understands winning, but he didn't do a lot of the heavy lifting, but he's a really good player playing behind, he played behind two, an All-American almost. So those guys they're excited for a new role, a new opportunity. So, I'm excited to see what we do with it.
Well, let's talk about what you're going to do with it, particularly in terms of, what to expect for conference play. What about the non-conference schedule? Who should people be looking toward, and especially who's coming to the Dedman Center this year? Plus, Sunshine Slam.
Yeah. So we, I like our non-conference schedule. My assistant James Harris does a good job with that. And we open up at Pitt, ACC opponent who will be really good. And then we have some home games that I'm excited about. And sometimes it's just hard to get home games. We got William and Mary coming, Old Dominion, Bucknell. So I'm excited about the early non-conference, especially at home.
Well, good. Well, we look forward to seeing the season play out. We wish you and all the Highlanders the best of luck this year. And we thank you for watching another edition of our season preview for Big South Basketball 2024-25.